Yo, what's good, basketball heads? It's your boy Crush. Let's talk about Kendrick Perkins saying that Joel Embiid should want James Harden to leave the Sixers. I mean, let's not do that. It wasn't just Harden. Joel Embiid didn't show up. He won the MVP, which he was crying for all season long. He finally won the MVP. And when it mattered the most, he choked. Joel Embiid choked. He came up small. Harden came up small. But we expected this from Harden. Well, he gave us 2 good games, and that's rare. But Joel Embiid, he didn't rise to the occasion and bring Philly over the hump. So the fact that Kendrick Perkins is trying to put this on James Harden is crazy. They both choked. This wasn't a one-man job. This was a 2-man job. Joel Embiid came up small. Harden did what he always do, which is choke. So I'm not going to put this on James Harden and say, it's his fault why the Sixers didn't advance. No. They both did not show up in the biggest game. Do or die, both players did not show up in back-to-back games. And this is not on James Harden only. Joel Embiid takes as much blame. So I don't know why Kendrick Perkins is trying to, scapegoat James Harden. Let's not do that. They both didn't show up. And in essence, James Harden got Doc Rivers fired. I'm not saying Doc Rivers don't take blame also. Yes, they all shared blame and fault. Doc Rivers takes some blame. James Harden and Joel Embiid take a lot of blame because they didn't show up. In the biggest moment, they both choked. And look at Joker. Joker out here took his team to the finals while Joel Embiid won the MVP and choked. And here go Kendrick Perkins trying to scapegoat James Harden to protect Joel Embiid. Talking about Joel Embiid should want him to leave. I mean, whether I agree or disagree, they both choked. End of the day, both players came up short when it mattered the most. So we can't find faults. We can't pick side. We can't pick and choose. Both players played a big role in why this team got eliminated early. And Doc Rivers is now out of a job. Saying that Joel Embiid deserved better, I could say the same thing. James Harden deserved better. And I'm not even a James Harden fan, so I'm not picking up for him. I'm just saying you can't. If Joel Embiid is the best player on the team, which he is, right? He's the 2023 MVP. So how are you going to put the blame on James Harden when the MVP did not show up? The best player on the team and supposedly in the league did not show up. But you're going to scapegoat the second player, the Robin? Come on, Kendrick. I know you know better than this. Come on. On top of that, James Harden gave you 2 good games, and that is a lot. If you know James Harden past history in the playoff, him giving you 2 good games, scoring over 40 points, that is huge. So the fact they got 2 games out of James Harden, he even won the first game without Joel Embiid. That is huge. So he actually did something in this year's playoff. He could have done more, obviously, but he did something. He won the first game, and he gave them a second game, which he also won. So he won 2 games, essentially, for the team. I mean, yes, he needs to do more, and he could have shown up when it mattered in the big game, but Joel Embiid, he's the MVP, and he didn't show up in multiple games. So how are we going to scapegoat James Harden and ignore Joel Embiid? But this is Perkins choosing sides because, Kendrick Perkins chose Joel Embiid as his MVP. So this is him choosing sides, basically. I know what he's doing. The talk around town is, James Harden is expected to return to Houston Rockets. He's going to opt out with the 76ers, and more than likely he's going to return to Houston. I don't know why, but I guess that is his plans, whatever. So this is what Kendrick Perkins had to say. To be honest with you, I think Joel Embiid should want James Harden to walk. I think he deserves better than James Harden. And if it comes down to Harden making the decision on who the coach is going to be, I believe Joel Embiid should force his way out because here's the thing. It's bad enough that they didn't consult or even ask Joel Embiid about Doc Rivers or whether or not he wanted to keep Doc Rivers. That was insulting right there because this is your league MVP. This is your franchise guy. He has led the league in scoring 2 years in a row. You at least have to ask him, this is not about James Harden, and this is the problem that I have. If I'm Joel Embiid, there's no way in hell I'm trusting Daryl Morey with the love affair that he has with James Harden, that he's going to do right by Joel Embiid. He's always going to do right by James Harden, but I don't trust he's going to do right by Joel Embiid. With that being said, if I'm Joel Embiid, I'm watching to see what happened because I would actually love to see Kyrie Irving in Philadelphia with Joel Embiid. So that is what Kendrick Perkins had to say regarding James Harden and Joel Embiid. Both players underachieve, so there's a lot of blame to go around. Can't blame one guy. They both take a lot of blame because both didn't show up in multiple games. Back-to-back games. The 2 games that matter the most, both players did not show up. So you can't blame one player or the other. And because of that, Doc Rivers got fired. But I would agree with Kendrick Perkins in this sense. They should have informed Joel Embiid about Doc Rivers before they fired him. They should have consulted with Joel Embiid, see where he stands on that situation, what's his stance before they made a decision. But clearly all that matters is James Harden, at least to Daryl Morey. So they didn't consult with Joel Embiid regarding Doc Rivers being fired. So that's the one thing I would agree with Kendrick Perkins. They should have consulted with Joel Embiid and see where he stands regarding Doc Rivers, if he was okay with them firing him or whatever the case may be. But, obviously Daryl Morey is going to do what James Harden wants. That's his bud. You know how that goes. But beyond all that, I'm not going to put this on James Harden. I'm not going to put this on Joel Embiid. Both players, both parties shared blame in why the Sixers got eliminated. Both didn't play well. They didn't show up, both of them. And that's just the fact of the matter. But we'll see what happened moving forward, in the off season, what move they make. We'll see what happened. But as always, I holla. As always, we just talking basketball. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share, holla at your boy. It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about the game. I'ma say it. It's all about the game.